Hey everyone, so it's Monday, which means, fresh start of the week for RTA, and I got a couple matches for you here. I actually think I have like 6 or 7 of them, so I hope you enjoy. I will say, I started the week at rank 5, and now I think I'm down to 9. Man, it's getting a lot harder to keep up with the rest of the meta, to be honest. Just being limited to red, green, and blue characters is starting to not be enough. But we're still trying. So anyway, let's get into the matches. All right, so mystery opponent number 1 here. I've started to ban Doomweaver Valeria. Starting fresh just because she counters so much of my team. I'm kind of like a mid-range player where I want tanky heroes that are a threat, but not tanky enough where it's just a slow roll. So anyway, I first pick Ashlyn, who's a really safe pick for me, especially when I don't know who I'm playing. And this person picks Divine Yolanda and then Halia. So then I pick Jabez, which is a nice counter to Halia, and then it also helps counter pick against Ashlyn's. And then here I choose Nero, just again as another nice general pick, and it helps slow down the rest of his team. So then he goes Shark Solandre and then Alistair. And at this point, I think I know who I'm playing, but it doesn't really affect who I choose here. So I end up going with Ralph. Ralph is one of those characters that actually is countered really hard by Dark Valeria. So that's why I'm pre-banning hers, because I've started to rely on Ralph a little bit. And here, you're actually going to get to see a really cool pick. This is a hero that I've been building up, and I've really liked. I'm pretty sure it's this match. Yeah, it is. So I end up going with Kasim. So Kasim, I've been picking a lot lately. He hits really hard, and he puts a lot of meta heroes in a really awkward position. I think the more people play against him, they are starting to understand how to counter him. But he has been good. And I think even when people, know how to play against Kasim, it's not something that is generally easy to do, especially if he's picked correctly. So here I'm deciding on who to ban. And I end up banning Halia because I think I can taunt the Giranol with the Ralph. So he ended up banning Jabez, so he can use his Shark Solandre. And then to start off the match here, he has Divine Yolanda and puts up that invincible and crit resistance. So here I want to stun the Alistair so I can put taunts up on the entire team, even though it's going to trigger Shark Solandre. You'll see here that it also, once that happens, my Kasim will then go and counterattack, and then he jumps in front of Shark Solandre. So pretty cool stuff there. So Ashlyn here, I switched to light mode because there's no Jabez or anything like that as a threat. And I'm just trying to do a little bit of damage wherever I can. And here, I'm wondering if I should kill the Alistair now or try and kill the Divine Yolanda. I go with the Alistair. The nice thing with that is if Kasim kills somebody with his ultimate, it actually refreshes the cooldown. So he'll be able to loop back around to that, and his ultimate scales off of the damage done. So, and then his ultimate always puts up the dodge, which is really nice. So here, his Shark Solandre is doing Shark Solandre things. But thankfully, we've kind of stopped the Giranol, and the Ralph is just a really big issue right now because he's just mitigating so much damage. So right there, that's where Ralph comes in real handy, is he can help prevent Divine Yolanda from just completely destroying one character. So here I'm just doing chip damage. I attacked the Divine Yolanda because I didn't want to trigger Shark Solandre. Here he does trigger, but Ralph counters with the taunt, and here I just I choose to use the ultimate of Ashlyn, and then from there game over. So yeah, cool little game there featuring Kasim. Alright, so next mystery opponent. So here I just banned the Dark Valeria again because I think it's the same person, but with the ban of Dark Valeria I find out that it's someone different. So he picks Jabez and Alicia, and with those picks I know that I'm facing Sweenot because he has two really strong Jabez and Alicia are usually his first picks. So here I go with Aurea because I'm planning on banning his Dark Nick, who he also likes to use. And Aurea is actually really good against us. But then he brings in Dark Hassle, so things get a little more interesting from this point on, because Dark Hassle kind of gets around Aurea. So I end up just going with Nero because he's good against Jabez and he's good against Alicia. And then my last pick here, I end up going with Nero because I'm planning on keeping the Light Nick around at this point, I think. So then he brings in Baron, which is definitely a threat, but the Ralph mitigates a lot of that damage. But I end up banning her anyway, okay? Because maybe he was going to ban the Ralph. I still think Jonathan might have been enough, but I guess we'll see how this plays out. So there's Aurea being pretty good, but I was thinking his Alicia was going to be higher attack than the Jabez, but the Jabez ended up being higher attack. So here, I'm going to depend on Jonathan and Nero. So I need this Jonathan to stay alive. But at this point, I think my Nero is in... I can't remember if he's in Dragon Scale here or if he's in Avarice set. But he ends up taking out the Jabez and the Hassle. And here I'm going to try and kill the Alicia. But because of the 2-turn taunt with the attack down and defense down on the Light Nick, Nero is able to, deal with that. Yeah, he was definitely in Dragon Scale at this point. So Nero carrying me there to victory. Okay, so this one I matched pretty quickly again. So I'm thinking it's Sweenot, but again, I have to just keep picking Doomweaver Valeria at this point. I do switch it up though once I pair up against him enough. So here I counterpick his Jabez. This isn't like a great pick from me, unless I'm planning on banning this Alicia, but he has a lot of decent threats in here. So here, this is what ends up happening against him multiple times, is this Yolanda can give people extra turns, right? Which is usually something that Jabez counters. But he's going to bring in a hero that, ends up being a real pain in the butt, and you'll see. So I'm thinking of what I can do here, just next pick, because the Baron is a bit of a threat. So I end up going with Ralph again. That's one to help mitigate the damage from Baron, and also it's nice to be able to taunt Yolanda on her second go round, so she doesn't put up those big shields. So here I'm debating. I end up going with Halia to see if I can outspeed the Yolanda. So then he goes into Orchi. Now Orchi, you'll see in the next couple games, ended up being a real problem. Really strong. It makes me kind of want to build him. So then I went with Bocce to kind of deal with Holy Armor Virgil and Alicia. Now, yeah, this Baron ban, in hindsight now, was pretty bad. I probably should have just banned the Yolanda or the Orchie. Either way, though, the Yolanda was a good pick from him because he could put the immunity up on Baron as well, so I couldn't stun with Ashlyn. But here you see how much damage that Ralph was mitigating. But once you see that little trick there by Yolanda to give the bonus turn to Orchie and really, really hurt my team. So at this point, I'm hoping that Bocce lives and then can clutch out some kills here. So he ends up just missing, against the Alicia there. I don't know if that would have changed anything. It might have. But you'll see here that this Orchie just goes bonkers. He's got three attacks with him, and every time he kills someone, he gets a bonus turn. So like this just spiraled. It's such a really good hero. So pretty cool stuff there. And here, I just can't get through the Yolanda shield. So yeah, that was that one. I just end up seeing writing on the wall, or she was going to kill my Bocce right then and there. Okay, so again, just pairing quickly, so I'm assuming it's Sweenot again, but with this mysterious opponent thing, it's so hard to counterpick against that. I end up doing it eventually because the Orchie ends up becoming too much. So here, I fall into the same trap, I think. So he's just going to go Baron, Yolanda, like he set me up again, right? So here I end up picking Nero because I'm wondering if I can outspeed the Yolanda, to stun the Orchie. I think that's what I end up trying here. And then I also counterpick Kasim. Well, it's not really a counterpick, but I end up banning Alicia, thinking that my Ashlyn is going to outspeed with the Nero. But he's got just a really, really fast Yolanda, so that Yolanda's over at least 325 speed, so pretty fast. And here he just ends up doing, the same thing again, where the Orchie takes the hit and he just one-shots the Jabez. Then he can kill my Kasim. Here I'm forced to stun the Baron, and then he can just focus down Nero and Ashlyn. Yep. So I think this one too, I think I just quit. Oh, I get a bonus turn. Because the Yolanda removed the stun. So, I don't know. I felt like I had a shot here for some reason. Who do I end up stunning? Okay. Stun the Orchie. Yeah, so... Baron, once there's like not a whole lot of people left, she isn't as strong, so I thought I had a chance there, but he ended up getting it anyway. Alright, so again, I'm pretty sure I pair against him, but I keep going with Doomweaver Valyria still, but then I see the Holly Ben, so then he starts switching it up because he's been facing me back to back to back. So here, Alicia and Jabez are both good counter picks to Ashlyn, so I kind of walk into this. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, so this one, he goes Lightneck I go with Jonathan, who's a great counter to Lightnick. At this point, I'm planning on banning, I think, Alicia. Yeah, okay, so here I ban Levi for the dodges against Orchie. And it's also a pretty good dodge against Baron. Okay. So he can't do his little Yolanda trick. I go with Kasim because it's a good counter to Lightnick, Baron, and even Holy Armor Virgil. Okay, yeah, so I end up taking out Alicia. He bans Levi because I'm sure the RNG aspect is not fun. And let's see how this plans out. Okay, so I end up being faster than the Baron and the Lightnick. So here this is nice because I won't end up doing a whole lot of damage to the Orchie, so he's not as strong. Also, the nice thing is here, and it was a good play by him, I was going to put the defense down and attack down on the Orchie. But now, you know, this Orchie is going to be a problem again. So he can just kill the Aurea, and then he can go after the Kasim. I can't remember if he kills Kasim. I think he does pretty easily, though. Oh, I got a lucky deflect. That's what it was. I don't know what was going on with today's session, but I was deflecting so much. So here I put the attack and defense down, and Kasim gets to go, put up his dodge again. And I can't remember if I try and kill Holy Armor Virgil here because he has the defense down, or if I go after Orchie. Okay, I go after the Orchie to get the kill. Here I just end up attacking Baron, trying to kill her, because I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good spot here with Kasim, Jonathan, and Ashlyn against the Holy Armor Virgil and the Lightnick. Yeah, so here I just give Jonathan more attack, finish off the Baron. And now I think I start focusing down the Lightnick to get him to proc, because if he sits around too long, yeah, he can be an issue, although I'm in a pretty nice spot with Jonathan. So here, I'm wondering if he's thinking of AoEing, but he just keeps on focusing the Ashlyn. He needs to, because Ashlyn can definitely win the game if she gets to max sparks, or even, 75% of the way there. So here, I don't want to use up my dodge, but Nick ends up activating it, which allows Kasim to loop back around to his ultimate, and then from here it's just over because Jonathan just beats Lightnick outright. So good match there. Okay, so at this point, I think I start banning people specifically. So yeah, here I end up getting pretty scared of this Orchie, where I start banning it. I was really impressed by it, and with the ban from Halia, I'm getting the gist that it is, Sweetheart again. So, I pick Ashlyn. Even though Alicia does beat Ashlyn right now, with that Aurea pick, because I know now that Jabez is his highest attack character. So if I want to ban the Jabez, I know that Aurea will taunt the Alicia. Again, I go with Jonathan just because he's a good counter to Lightnick. I don't need to ban him. I end up picking Levi again, kind of as ban bait to him, but also he's just a threat, just a good general threat. He ends up going with Holy Armor Virgil, and then Light Zac. So his Light Zac's pretty strong too. There's been instances where he's one-shot Nero, and maybe we see it in this match. But I actually really like playing against Sweetheart because he ends up doing interesting picks. He does have some good light and dark characters, but he's just a good drafter, so it's not like he relies only on light and dark characters. He's just a smart player. So here, I kind of didn't know what to do. He already picked Jabez, which would have been a good pick against Holy Armor Virgil and Lightwing Zac, but it is what it is. Alright, so here he ended up banning, man, who did he ban? Aurea. Yeah, he ended up banning Aurea. So I stun the Jabez because he's a good counter to Ashlyn. So here he's trying to focus down the Levi, but I did get one dodge. So then the Light Nick goes. The shield procs from Jonathan, and here I'm debating on who I want to try and kill, either the Jabez or the Lightwing Zac. So I start focusing on Jabez. I think it's because I didn't want to trigger Lightwing Zac again. Okay, so there, the Holy Armor Virgil puts, yeah, see, there you can see it. It's the Holy Armor Virgil takes out the, puts the cooldowns of Nero, but then Lightwing Zac just ends up one-shotting it. So here I'm debating on switching while I still can, just do a little chip damage against his heroes. Yeah, and I end up, I think, trying to finish off this Jabez because then the Ashlyn becomes a real threat. So here I'm debating on, again, taking out the Lightwing Zac or the Holy Armor Virgil. So I go with the Holy Armor Virgil, and then I finish off Virgil and just miss on the Lightwing Zac. So if he does kill somebody with his ultimate, if he loops back around to it, he'll fully heal, but thankfully he didn't have it up, and then Jonathan is able to finish off the Lightwing Zac, and we're back in this same spot again where, you know, Jonathan just outright beats Light Nick. Okay, so this will be our last match here on the video. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm playing him, so I just keep banning Orchi, because Orchi was a much bigger problem than I thought. But then I see that this person's taking their time, so I'm wondering if it's the same person. And then I see an Ashlyn ban, so it could still be the same person. I end up picking Alicia, just in case. So then I see Jabez and Light Nick, so I'm like, okay, I think it's still him. So here I go with Nero and Jonathan, you know, as the counter to Light Nick, and then I see Holy Armor Virgil and Lightwing Zac, so it's definitely him. Alright, so here I'm debating Ralph, I think. The problem is Ralph, he counterattacks a lot, so that could trigger Lightwing Zac. Yeah, so then I end up choosing not to pick Levi. And then at this point, I don't know. Yeah, I end up picking Ralph anyway, thinking that I'm going to ban Lightwing Zac. Because the Light Nick does AoE damage for Jonathan, same thing with Holy Armor Virgil. But the last pick, I don't know if it changes my mind on who to ban. I guess we'll see here. Andre, yeah, so at this point I should still ban Lightwing Zac. I can't remember if I did or not. Oh, geez, did I ban Jabez? Ooh. I don't know about that one. That didn't seem very smart. I must lose this. Okay, so here, I remember this match. Yeah, I'm debating on who I want to attack, but I think I end up going with Andre, because I don't want him to, one, kill my Alicia, and two, take the shield off of Ralph. So I try and kill him with Alicia and Levi, but there, as you see, I kind of got greedy. I ended up doing the second attack of Levi instead of his ultimate, and I think it ended up costing me here. Yeah, I think it did, because his Andre lived, and even though he got some shared damage from Alicia, he ended up, you know, taking out two of my heroes there. Here he can just put the ult of Nero on cooldown. I do have damage sharing up from Ralph still, but his Lightwing Zac does have the increased attack from Light Nick, but he ends up deciding not to do it. And here, you know, it just comes down to Levi versus you know, the rest of his team. You know, I triggered Lightwing Zac, and Levi didn't trigger his ultimate, you know, which was going to be unlucky anyway for him. So it's nice that didn't happen. So Levi does dodge there, but then he finishes off the Ralph with the Holy Armor Virgil. And then Holy Armor Virgil must steal buffs or something, because he has this huge shield up. I don't know what that's from. Here I try and kill the Lightwing Zac, but then he gets the Levi with the Light Nick, and this is pretty much over. So yeah, I think my greed there with Levi ended up getting the best of me, which is a bummer. But anyway, so yeah, that was our last match, and that's the matches for RTA this week. Hope you enjoyed.